Is it time for you to let go of that relationship, that job, that plan? Sometimes it's hard to know. So today we are going to consult the universe for some sage advice. Hey friends, welcome back to Blossom and Bee. And in today's reading, I'm going to be taking a look at letting go. Because I think for all of us, at one point or another in our lives, we've come to the realization that it might be time for us to move on, to let go of something that we have been involved with, whether it's a person or a career choice or a job, or even just a plan that we've been trying to get off the ground. And we're starting to suspect that it just isn't going to happen. So letting go is something that we all have to deal with from time to time. For some people, letting go is not a problem, while for others, it's more difficult. But regardless of where you stand in that equation, it can definitely be helpful for you to get some worldly guidance to confirm whether or not moving on and letting go is right for you at this moment. So that's exactly what we're going to do today, because I have been getting the message that a lot of people are feeling restless. They're starting to question whether what they are doing is what they should be doing, or who they're with is who they're meant to be with for the long haul. That there's a lot of questioning happening right now, and we've got a new moon coming up. So this is the perfect time for us to check out whether or not the universe is urging us to move on. So I'm going to go ahead and clear the deck. We'll be working with the Paulina tarot cards today, which I love. And together we will determine whether or not this is the moment of letting go for you. I'm going to be doing a Celtic cross for this reading, and I think we're just going to do the 10 card draw and no clarifier. All right, so we've had the first 6 cards come out in the spread, and we're going to slowly start to have a closer look at this situation. And of course, we always begin by looking at you and where you stand at the moment. So you have the 6 of Pentacles coming up here in current position for you, which tells me that whatever this is that you've been doing, that you're currently considering moving on from, has been successful for you thus far. So it has been a relationship or a position of give and take. You have mastered it well. So I feel like when people look at you, they see somebody who has done very well for themselves. And this is definitely true. However, I'm sensing like a handing off here, because of the fact that you are feeling ready to move on or to let go. So it's almost as though you've accomplished what you set out to do, and now you're like, okay, what's next? What is our challenge or influence here? And we've got the 8 of Swords, and this does not surprise me in the least. This is unbelievable validation. That you're feeling somewhat stagnant, stuck, very much not moving in either the direction of your choosing or in a direction that is bringing you a sense of satisfaction. There are all sorts of limitations being hinted at here with this 8 of Swords. We've got some thoughts that are not serving you right now. These could be rooted in doubt, anxiety, fear. Change often does bring about these emotions for some people. And in this position where you're standing, it's almost like you're fenced in by all of this clutter going on in your mind. And I think it's being made worse by the fact that it's coming from within yourself and not an outer influence. And again, with the 8, that's evidence that you do want movement. So let's go to root cause for all of this commotion here. And we've got the Page of Swords, a little rabble rouser. The Page of Swords is always good at coming in, waving a flag and saying, hey, look at me, look at this new idea I want you to pay attention to. And because we're in our thoughts again, this is just more validation to me that this sort of restlessness or whatever it is that you're feeling right now, this need to move on, is largely coming about through your mindset. So if it's a relationship that you are potentially wanting to let go of, I'm thinking that right now, it isn't so much that you feel as though you're not emotionally connected to this person, but more so like you're not on the same page with that person anymore. Or again, if it's you wanting to move on from your current job or position, it's almost as though you have outgrown it and you need some more mental stimulation at this point in time. Let's take a look at the immediate future or potential issue. And you've got the Ten of Wands. Wow. Now we are going to bring your spirit into this, guys. And this is telling me that without making a change right now or in the immediate future, your will is going to weigh you down. Your spirit is going to crush you here, or it's going to be crushed. This is showing me that for quite a while, you have been trying to take on so much with keeping your spirit engaged in whatever this is, your relationship, your job. And it has almost become burdensome for you. You're quite literally carrying the weight of this spirit having waned. And this threatens to be totally depleting for you from an energetic standpoint, because we started out in the Pentacles, which is in the physical. So the mind-body-spirit connection is what's at risk here. It's definitely going to be something that you're going to have to consider, because without this equilibrium, things will quickly go off course for you in many ways. Additionally, because this is a 10 here, the universe is validating that it is time to complete this cycle and to move on. So let's look at an ideal goal for you at the moment. And we've got the Four of Pentacles, once again coming back to the Pentacles where you started. And this is speaking to achieving a greater sense of balance, peace, harmony, and feeling as though you're grounded in a place that is good for you from a physical and emotional standpoint. I'm also seeing that it could be time for you to spend a little bit of one-on-one me time, to get quiet, to get centered, to take stock of what you have accomplished thus far. Because you have been, in go mode. You've been in go mode, and that goes right back here to the Six of Pentacles, where you are currently, which is movement. So there's been a lot of movement happening for you. But again, with the sixes, when we have movement, it's often like lateral, which can be frustrating for you, which can lead to this feeling of being stuck with the Eight of Swords coming up. So I'm not seeing the Four of Pentacles here as advising you to be guarded. I do see it that, again, it is just a time for reflection, perhaps a little bit of taking stock. But as it's coming up here in the fours, I'm just sensing that it's a balance that is sorely needed for you, a grounding more than anything else. So what's running below the surface for you? What's happening there? And we've got the Eight of Cups. And this is intriguing to me because this is the first time that the heart, the emotions have come up in this reading. But of course, we know your heart is in there. We know that it wants to be part of this equation because we're talking about the potential end of a journey in a relationship that was based or is based on love. But there's movement here of another type. I feel as though this is growing and expanding of the heart, of emotions that at the moment is definitely not happening for you. So from an emotional standpoint, the movement is not where it ought to be because the heart intends always to move forward. The emotions want you to move forward and to complete the cycle. But again, we had that stagnation, we had that heaviness in spirit, and the heart is being affected as well from all of this. And the heart is sort of like almost at an impasse. So I think what you're feeling here is your emotions having somewhat fallen away. Of course, we have your spirit being heavy, heavier than normal. And we've got this need for balance and grounding going on inside of you. And it's all sort of coming together and culminating with this idea of letting go and moving forward. All right, so I think we're getting a really good idea of what's going on here leading up to wanting to make this change, this letting go. So now we're going to pull some cards to see where things go from here for you. Okay, guys, we've got cards 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we're going to start with number 7, representing advice from the universe. Okay, so we've got the Ace of Swords in the guidance position. And, oh my goodness, we've got more newness. This is just total confirmation for me, guys, that the universe is definitely prodding you, pushing you, encouraging you toward taking on something new at this point. And I find this so incredibly revealing, so telling, that this is coming up in the Swords suit, because so much of what's happening for you right now is going on inside of your mind. And here's the universe saying, yes, you're right. Your mind is needing something fresh and new, just like the page was talking about. So it's basically saying, hey, you know what? I'm riding with Team Page over there. So the universe is not suggesting you sit back on this any longer. It wants you to get your brain excited about something new for you. So outer factors, my goodness. Look who showed up to play here. The devil himself, guys, for outer factors. And what this typically means at this point in the game is that when you finally do decide, okay, I'm going for it, I'm going to pull the trigger, there is going to be resistance around this. You can pretty much count on it. So do be prepared for this potential resistance. And I suspect that this is going to come in the form of perhaps some love bombing, some flattery, manipulation that is directly going to have you in this little dance back and forth with this person or this job or whatever it is that you are looking to move on from. So this person, this employer, whoever this is not going to be like, okay, great, it's been real. No. They're going to want to do the dance here with you. They're going to want to play the game because they are not ready to let you go. Let's look at hope/fears. Temperance. So yeah, temperance here. This is balance, harmony. This is the flow of the universe working toward you again, connecting back to that balance in the 4 of Pentacles. So it is your hope right now, your desire, your dream, that by stepping away from where you are now, your movement will no longer be linear, and the flow of your life will be better. You'll feel this ebb and flow. You'll see this difference in your spirit coming up from within inside of yourself, this temperance that at the moment is completely missing for you. It's something that you want to see. The notion of this is very, very appealing to you because you're going to feel lighter as a result. Lighter. And, you had this weight of the 10 of Wands coming down on you for so long that you know that there's lightness in this harmony that you can have within yourself. So it's outcome time. It's outcome time, guys. Let's see what we have here. And it's the Knight of Wands. And honestly, this is just exactly what I would have been expecting at this point because we're right back in your spirit once again. And the Knight is always a call to action to heal your spirit, that wounded, weary, overburdened spirit, and to ride off into the sunset with something new and exciting for yourself, where it's going to ignite your passion once again, because that is what is sorely missing from everything that's happening in your life right now. And I know that sometimes it's even confusing to you because you have this appearance of everything being like all together for yourself. But deep inside, this core of who you are, there's action that needs to take place to keep you running. The Knight is that call to action. And this moment in time is when it needs to happen for you. I feel as though every card in this reading was pointing you in that direction. And if it weren't for your greater good, the universe would not be doing so. So we started this reading by asking the universe whether the time was right for us to let go. And if so, what we could expect from it, perhaps even why we were thinking this way. And that answer came straight out with the Six of Pentacles, because it said that you're moving in a lateral direction and you're ready to hand off and move on. And that was your current position. And if it weren't time for you to do this, then your subsequent cards would have indicated that you ought to stay the course. But there was nothing in these cards that said that. Absolutely nothing. In fact, the main influence for you was the Eight of Swords. And this is an absolute confirmation and validation from the universe that the stagnation within your mind is real for you. It's not in your imagination. And so that is why all of this is coming up for you guys right now. Because your mind is not letting this go. It's not prepared to just lay down and accept what's going on and accept these feelings that are coming up from these thoughts. So I really want to be encouraging here for you, because as someone who's been down this road, the road of letting go and moving on, oh my goodness, I know that it is not easy. And I've had to do it a couple of times. And for me, it was a major upheaval in my life, major. But each subsequent result was better and better. So sometimes it's just worth wading through the muck to get to the beautiful meadow at the end. Because really, guys, if you stay in a stagnant place and you know in your heart, in your mind, in your soul that you don't belong there, it's like spiritual suicide for you. And that is unacceptable. That's totally unacceptable. And I also want to warn you that sometimes when you are the person making the move, that the resistance that'll come around it from the people involved directly can be really big. And we saw that here in this reading with the appearance of the devil. And do not allow that to dissuade you. Do not, because you had the Eight of Swords here competing with the Eight of Cups. And both of those talk about movement one way or another, advancement. I'm hearing advancement for you guys. And we should never be afraid to advance in our lives, because that is what we are on this earth to do, to continue to grow and to continue to reach what is the best place for us as individuals. So now you've seen why it is this change is impending for you, why this is all coming up right now for you. And you've seen the components here. You've seen that all the pieces of this puzzle are going to come together to work for you. So I truly hope that if you leave, if you go, if you make this change, that it brings you all the peace, harmony, love, and joy that you deserve in your life. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, for subscribing. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, reading these messages from the universe. I invite you to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you again soon.